Brian's doing diamond cutters in the corner because we are 4 days away from this big election, and Hillary Clinton desperately trying to distract away from the growing FBI investigation.
However, new polls suggest her tactics may not be working to her benefit.
We're going to find out. Fox News senior political correspondent Mike Emanuel is traveling with the Clinton campaign in Pittsburgh this morning. Mike, overall, though, they're still optimistic, correct?
Mike, do you hear anything? Did it go out?
Yeah, it sounds like it
Mike,
went out.
do you hear us?
You know what? This happens a lot.
I think it went out.
At the clubs. I walk over and people pretend they can't talk, they can't hear me.
Mike Emanuel, I think we have established contact with you. Give us your report live from Pittsburgh.
Well, forgive me. Good morning to you guys. It is interesting that Hillary Clinton has 3 visits to Pennsylvania in the remaining days. Today, tomorrow night with singer Katy Perry, and then her final rally with the President and First Lady on Monday night. The poll numbers heading into the final weekend of this campaign reveal a close race across the country. The CBS News New York Times national poll has Clinton 45%, Donald Trump 42%. Third-party candidates Gary Johnson 5% and Jill Stein 4%. Clinton campaigned in battleground North Carolina yesterday. It's gotten a lot of attention from the candidates and their surrogates in recent days. And Clinton had some help from Senator Bernie Sanders and entertainer Pharrell Williams. No surprise, Clinton blasted Trump.
He retweets white supremacists and spreads racially tinged conspiracy theories. You've got to ask yourself, do any of us who believe in our Constitution, who believe in the rule of law, that is not who America is, and we're not going to let it ever go back to that.
Clinton's closest campaign aide, Huma Abedin, was in Washington last night headlining a fundraiser for Hillary Clinton. Abedin has been off the campaign trail for the past week since her emails reignited the FBI probe of Clinton. Finally, Pennsylvania, the Real Clear Politics average of recent polls reveals Clinton up 3 over Donald Trump, 46.8 for Clinton, 43.8 for Trump. But Clinton is not taking any chances, expected to spend a lot of time here in the remaining days. Sorry for our technical difficulties, guys. Back to you.
It happens.
We forgive you.
We heard you.
Right. I'm going to hold a grudge.
Mike, thank you very much.
I am not speaking to him.
All right, meanwhile, Hillary Clinton's lead has collapsed since word of the FBI was reopening their investigation into her email. So what difference does it make, especially on Tuesday? A fair and balanced debate coming up next live.
And the president admits Obamacare premiums are going up, but he says it's all part of the plan.
Because premiums are going up. Well, now it is true, premiums are going up for a handful of people who don't get tax credits. That's important. We're going to work as hard as we can to do something about it. We would have already done it if the Republicans had helped.
Yeah.
So what's the truth?
Responsibility.
What's the truth? And who's paying for those?
I blame the Republicans for Obamacare. Who doesn't?
I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough.
An email investigation, the race has tightened significantly. A week before the bombshell from James Comey, Clinton was up 6 points, 6.4 points at the time of the announcement. She was up 4.6 points, and now her lead has shrunk to just 1.3 points. So will Clinton's troubles with the FBI really impact the way people vote? Here to debate, we got Washington Examiner columnist Kristen Soltis Anderson and the founder of 270 Strategies, Linda Tran. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Linda, let's start with you. You know, it was just a couple of weeks ago, in some polls, Hillary was up by 10. Now they're tied. It does look like it's all about this email thing because people, when they look at it, they go, that doesn't quite sound legal. What do you think?
Yeah, look, I think you'd be crazy if you weren't worried about the fact that the polls were tightening. But I got to say, ironically, the fact that the numbers are closer now might actually help Democrats turn out. You know, people on my team, when they
That's some
feel
good
like
spin. That's a good spin.
Well, it's the honest truth. People on my side of the aisle, when they feel like it's a runaway race, they tend to be less excited about turning out.
Yeah, but
and
Linda,
the reality is,
what if it's criminal activity, though? I mean, turnout for criminal activity?
Well, I don't think there's any evidence that that's the case. And I think even the letter that Comey sent to Congress said that we're not sure what it shows. So I don't know that that's really a fair argument to make. Yeah.
Well, you know what, Kristen, there is, the new news today from CBS is apparently on Anthony Weiner's laptop. They have found Hillary Clinton email from when she was Secretary of State, not duplicates, work email that was supposed to be turned over. Not turning it over is against the law.
If you already think that Hillary Clinton is a crook, you already think Hillary Clinton is a crook. And if you already love her at this point, you're pretty much immune to any bad headlines about her. A lot of what I think you're seeing in the polls is shifts that are enthusiasm shifts rather than shifts in people deciding, you know, I was going to vote for Hillary Clinton, but now this 150th email story, this is the one that makes me switch to Trump. I don't think that's what's going on so much. But in these polls, like, for instance, ABC Washington Post's poll, that's been the most accurate one toward the end, in the presidential elections going back to 1992. They had Clinton up by 12, and then a week and a half later had Trump up by 1. And what they said in their methodology notes is that this is about people who tended to like Hillary Clinton being more willing to pick up the phone when Trump was under fire. And then as you got to this Comey story, then suddenly Clinton supporters less willing to take polls, Trump supporters more willing to take it. Today, ABC's poll came out, had Clinton up by 3. You're seeing this reversion back to the mean, the state of the race as it's been all along, a very slight Clinton advantage, harder path for Trump, but certainly with states like Colorado tightening, that opens up new pathways for Trump to win.
All right, Linda, she's depicted it perfectly. The trend lines are not going in Hillary's direction right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, I agree with Kristen. There are a lot of shifts back and forth, but honestly, the only poll that matters is on Election Day. And look, it's not just any point during the election cycle that we're talking about now. We are heading into GOTV weekend, get out the vote, and it's all about turning out the base.
Right.
So the goal for both campaigns, right, is to make sure that they connect with their people and get those people out to cast their ballots.
Kristen, I'll give you the last 15 seconds.
I think it is all about turnout, and the question is enthusiasm to take a poll the same thing as enthusiasm to go to the polls? That's the big mystery. We'll find out on Tuesday.
Well, we're going to know on Wednesday, aren't we? Ladies, thank you very much. Great conversation with you this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up, Fox News Alert, it will be the last jobs employment report before the election. It's going to be with us in 3 minutes. It could change everything. That's what happened 4 years ago. We're going to give it to you live. Plus, brand new evidence that Hillary knew her email server was not so secure 2 years ago. Ed Henry pouring over brand new WikiLeaks document, what he found, coming up.
This shirt could write a book 5,000.
Free wellness visit. New plan, same doctor. I'm happy.
It's Medicare open enrollment.
New York City, Maria Bartiromo joins us. We're simulcasting right now with Fox Business. Maria, a big number is going to come out in 20 seconds. What is it?
Well, we're waiting for the jobs number for the month of October, and the expectations call for jobs of 175,000 for the last month. We're expecting the unemployment rate to tick down to 4.9%. This is the last major report before the election, guys, and we're going to get right to Peter Barnes because he's going to have the number live as soon as it hits the tape. Peter Barnes is in Washington now.
161,000 new jobs in October. Maria, 161,000 new non-farm payroll jobs for the last jobs report before the election, a bit below economists' expectations for 175,000 jobs in October. The unemployment rate did tick back down to 4.9% from 5% in September. Previous jobs numbers for August and September were revised up by a total of 44,000 new jobs. Workers got a nice bump in pay in October. Average hourly wages up 10 cents an hour, 0.4% to $25.92 an hour. Back to you.
All right, Peter, thank you so much. The numbers below expectations, guys. We were expecting 175,000, Steve, but look what we got. We actually got a weaker than expected number, even though people were expecting a pretty good number ahead of the election.
And Maria, not only is it always interesting to find out where the economy's heading, but especially now with the election, people are wondering what kind of economy do we want going forward? More of the same or something new? Last time, 4 years ago, the good numbers really impacted positively for President Obama, didn't they?
Yeah, they sure did, because you did get a sense that maybe there was promise that things would turn around. The bottom line is, when you look at these two candidates, which approach will be better as it relates to economic growth and jobs? We know that Donald Trump wants to lower taxes. He wants to roll back regulations. We know that Hillary Clinton wants to raise taxes. She wants to raise wages. This is what voters are thinking about as they head to the polls, as we see a number that is underwhelming.
Will this make a difference come Tuesday?
You know, it's very close to, you know, the election, so you wonder if it's actually going to move people. But I will say this, Trish, people were expecting a lot better, so this actually could have impact on the voting booth.
It could. I mean, it fits the narrative, right, Maria, that we are in a weak environment. We aren't adding enough jobs to actually start to stimulate this economy in a meaningful way. And so here we are right back where we have been pretty much every other month in this cycle. And you look back over the last 8 years, and I know it was bad in 2008. Yes, it was awful. It is the worst crisis we've seen.
But 10 years
since the
later,
30s.
Trish.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You should actually be seeing that much more growth in comparison, that many more jobs being added, and we don't have it.
Hey, Maria, I got bad news. The simulcast, the thing that brought our two networks together, is about to come to a close. We're out of money.
Oh, no.
And my credit card just hit its max.
Well, I don't know about that, because I saw the 21st Century earnings this week, and they were pretty good.
Yeah, no,
Have a good show, you
I wasn't
guys.
watching your channel for that. All right, Maria and Trish, thank you very much for the live
Thank
update.
you, ladies. Good to see you this morning.
Great to see you, friends.
Thank you.
So much. We got Dagan and
All right, meanwhile, as we roll on live from Fox News Channel.
Hillary Clinton's campaign desperately trying to plug the WikiLeaks, but the flood of secrets keeps on flowing.
More bombshells just 4 days until the election, revealing members of Hillary Clinton's inner circle knew her private server wasn't so private.
Wow. Fox News chief national correspondent Ed Henry has been pouring all over the new leaks. Ed, I was getting your hits all night as things have been unwound. I'm fascinated to see how many journalists were in bed, seemingly, from Politico's Glenn Thrush to John Harwood of CNBC. What else are you finding?
Well, yeah, one of the most fun emails might have been that memo you're referring to also, where John Podesta had a whole bunch of mainstream media reporters over to his house here in Washington for a big dinner, and he cooked himself. So he was really reaching out to them. This is back in 2015 when they were launching the campaign. Fox wasn't invited to that party, but we're not mad. That's okay. New one out just in the last few moments from WikiLeaks from 2015. It's Huma Abedin and Cheryl Mills talking about how much Hillary Clinton hates Al Gore, which is odd because he was just out in Florida with her a couple weeks ago saying he endorses her, they love each other and all of that. And Huma Abedin says, quote, "It's hard to put on email, but there's no love lost." Reminder, he refused to endorse in 2008. That point there, not just about disliking Gore, but about I can't put it in email why they hate each other. Look back to 2014. We have this one as well. An exchange between Hillary Clinton herself and John Podesta. Hillary Clinton writes, "Any idea whose fighters attacked Islamist positions in Tripoli, Libya?" Podesta, "Yes, and interesting, but not for this channel." So there you have Hillary Clinton a couple of years after being Secretary of State openly on this server saying, hey, I want to talk to you about which Islamists were there in Libya. And even John Podesta says, whoa, let's not do this on this server. And that's why Julian Assange is out just in the last 24 hours saying there's other stuff they did put into email and they're going to leak it out. He's denying that Russia hacked this, despite what the Democrats have been saying. And he says before the election, more emails are coming out.
And he also says before the election we'll find out. He says he'll prove that Russia didn't do it. So I'm curious to see what that means.
Except he did the interview, Brian, on Russia Today. So if you want to deny that Russia's involved, as the Democrats have been saying, maybe pick another outlet. I don't know, Fox or someone else.
I did ask him when he came on our show if he's linked to Russia, and believe it or not, he said absolutely not.
Yeah, he did. And Ed, keep in mind, what we have heard through the leaks to Brett is that at least 5 foreign countries, 5 to 7, have their fingerprints inside that server. So it could have been any of those countries. It could have been China. It could have been Russia. It could have been England. It could have been Israel. It could have been North Korea. And the list goes on.
With serious intelligence info. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, any idea of when the next batch is going to come out?
Well, you know, yesterday they typically come out about 9 a.m. Eastern, and they usually Hemmer's getting the best stuff. Hemmer and Martha, we're trying to bring you stuff now because they're getting close to the election. Fox is doing special coverage. It looks like WikiLeaks is doing special coverage. Yesterday they had 2 document dumps, not 1. That's the first time we've seen that. They called it a Huma special, and that's why they started dumping more of this out. So honestly, it could be at any time. They just keep putting more and more out there. They've promised 50,000 emails from John Podesta's account by Election Day. They've done about 40,000 already.
And speaking of Huma, there was apparently a couple of years ago, they knew in Clintonville about Anthony Weiner texting inappropriate things, naked pictures to people, and John Podesta said, time to put on the hazmat suits. It's interesting, though, Ed, Julian Assange said a couple of days ago, in the next batch, phase 3 of the WikiLeaks, there would be information that would put her in jail. Have we seen that stuff yet?
No, we haven't, and that's why WikiLeaks has thrown out a lot out there that has been damaging to Hillary Clinton. For example, a whole series of emails among her staff yesterday from March of 2015 where they were saying, we don't think she's turned over all official email. Why is that important? Hillary Clinton herself went out, you remember, the United Nations that same month, March of 2015, and said, I turned everything over to the State Department. Her own staff was doubting that. Now, is that criminal? Well, she's sworn statements in various lawsuits under the penalty of perjury saying, I turned everything over. If even her staff is doubting that, that's a problem and could obviously lead to something. But there's been nothing that's sort of a smoking gun. But look, they're promising there's more coming in the next few days. One yesterday that was interesting was one of John Podesta's friends, and this is certainly not criminal, but comical given where we are in this race right now. One of Podesta's friends wrote to him after the Nevada caucuses, quote, Bernie needs to be ground to a pulp. Remember, previously, John Podesta had called him a doofus, and Podesta says there, where would you stick the knife in? So maybe this is just hardball politics, but last night, who was Hillary Clinton on the campaign trail in a battleground state with? Bernie Sanders. They're all friends now, just like her and Al Gore. The emails tell a different story.
And he did not look happy last night, although he's never looked happy. But still, he has to
he's
deliver
a happy
the millennial.
warrior. I disagree. He's a happy warrior.
Okay, fine. We disagree on that.
I like the way Ed just depicted it. It's either criminal or it's comical. Pretty much. That's WikiLeaks for you.
You never know what's
It's a wide range.
It's not
It's a wide range.
authentic.
All right.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you very much.
Good seeing you. Have a good weekend.
Good to see you.
Let's hand it over to Heather, who has some more headlines for you and your family.
I do, yeah, but I'm just so stunned by the viciousness there down in D.C. I guess that's what politicians do. All right, good morning to all of you. Hope you're off to a good day. A couple news headlines to bring you right now. President Obama dismissing concerns over those rising Obamacare premiums. Listen to this.
Premiums are going up. Well, now it is true premiums are going up for a handful of people who don't get tax credits. That's important.
Well, that handful he's referring to is actually 2.2 million of us. On average, consumers will see a 25% increase in Obamacare premiums next year. Well, could Paul Ryan's days as House Speaker be numbered? 4 House Republicans are anonymously telling the website The Hill that they expect Ryan to step down after Tuesday's election. Rumors are swirling because he faces an uphill battle to win a full 2-year term, leading the House Republicans. Freedom Caucus members particularly upset over comments like this.
Now you have a presumptive nominee, Donald Trump. Will you support him?
Well, to be perfectly candid with you, Jake, I'm just not ready to do that at this point. I'm not there right now.
Well, spokeswoman for Paul Ryan denies that report. More proof Donald Trump may be right about voter fraud after dozens of ballots are sent to one house. A woman finding nearly 90 ballots stacked in her mailbox addressed to different people. The LA County